You're with Business Live from the BBC. Our top story today, the tech giant Apple could be facing a multi-billion-dollar tax bill following an investigation by the European Union.
Yeah, after a 3-year probe into the company's tax arrangements with the Irish government, the findings of the European Union investigation, they're expected to be released a little bit later today.
As soon as we hear, we will update you. But now, let's get the inside track on the global problem of housing and the fact that many people just can't afford housing. A young social entrepreneur has launched Chototel, which is a hotel startup chain which seeks to provide the lowest paid workers with affordable and dignified accommodation.
Yeah, the first is opening next month in a densely populated industrial town about 70 miles just south of Mumbai, with 3 others planned in the same town in the following 4 months.
So each Chototel will offer clean, digitally connected and carefully designed communal living. That is the plan. The cheapest will cost around 50 cents a night per person. That's around a tenth of the typical $5 a day received by the average worker in India.
Yeah, well, Chototel is planning to expand to the UK, the UAE and Nigeria all within the next few years. And joining us here in the studio is the founder of Chototel, Ria Silva, that chain of super budget hotels.
Good morning, Ria.
Morning.
Thanks for coming in. So you are based in Mumbai, aren't you? In fact, just give us a bit of background on your family, because you're just 24, which I have to say is very young to be starting up a company like this. But actually you're third sort of generation entrepreneur, which is all about social provision, isn't it? Just tell us more.
So I think when you start up a business, you always ask yourself, what are your goals? Are your goals clear enough to you? But I think the more important question that, we should ask ourselves is, are these goals inspiring enough? And, in a business like this, it's very hard on the ground. Everything that can go wrong inevitably goes wrong. So unless you have those inspiring goals and unless you have that, purpose in your vision, it doesn't give you the motivation to fight another day. So, what greater joy than to serve the most underserved market segment, and that's where we innovate from.
But in terms of experience, we mentioned that you're fairly young, but I mean your great uncle, your father, they've all been involved in this kind of thing in India, haven't they? So you grew up in that environment. I would imagine they've helped you a lot with this. Yeah,
most definitely. I mean, I can say I've had, more than 20 years of work experience because it's not uncommon to discuss business at a dining table, but yeah.
So just talk me through the business model itself. It's obviously a wonderful social enterprise, but how have you managed to create this hotel that so undercuts your competitors?
It works similarly to house rentals, where we own the asset itself, which is appreciating in value, and then you also benefit from the monthly or the daily rents that you get from the residents.
And it's a pretty high-tech operation, isn't it? Just talk me through, for example, how you work out someone's bill, their utility bills, their internet bill, etc., etc.
Yeah, technology plays a very large part in why we can provide accommodation at $2 a night. We use technology to build quicker. We use technology to run the hotels in an unmanned way. And most importantly, we use financial technology to make sure money is moving real time and information is available anywhere.
So you're able to monitor their usage of utilities like water and lighting, but also they're paying you digitally. The whole thing is just running smoothly from that point of view. If they're not paying you, they just can't literally get in the door of the place where they're staying. They're kind of locked out. Is that the case?
We do use technology, and it's an important part in being able to scale the business. Unless technology is at every point of it, then it's impossible to run very large-scale operations.
You're planning to roll out the pilot near Mumbai, and then you've got plans to expand into the UAE and also into the UK. Yeah. That fantastic price point that we've talked about. How is that going to vary across these different sort of territories?
I think over here we can afford to pay a little more than $2 a night, but it is, I think it's possible at about $5 in the UAE and about $8 to $10 in the UK itself.
And in terms of people staying, how will you vet them? Is it just first come, first served basis? Because, I mean, in your brief it says that if they weren't staying in your hotel, it's likely they'd be sleeping in the streets.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, we are very firm believers of free market. And whether it's prices, whether it's the people coming in, it has to be market driven. The minute we give a subsidy or accept one for that matter, you know, our business is not scalable, and that our model is not replicable. So it's very much driven by the market. Our solution to that would to be increasing the amount of supply that's available, and that will keep the prices low.
Ria Silva, thank you for coming in.
You're most
Fascinating. We shall keep an eye on what you're up to at
Thank
Chototel.
you.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Well, in just a moment, we'll take a look through the business pages with Simon French again. But first, here's a quick reminder of how to get in touch with us.